My bad, guys. I was on the phone with E. What's good, Shakai? You still in here? Oh, wait, I gotta switch the screen. I gotta switch the screen. What's good, Shakai? My bad, I was on the phone with E. I gotta switch. Let me know if you're still in here. My bad, guys. A little bit late to the party today. This session, similar to yesterday, it's gonna be quick. Damn, I run out of water and I'm over here just choking. It's crazy work. Did the same shit as yesterday. Make that comfortable. Were you pooping now? I was on the phone with E, my bad. Finally? Yeah, I'm a little late. But today's session is gonna be similar to yesterday, guys. It'll be pretty quick, no longer than 30 minutes. I didn't really get to see the charts when I woke up. I looked at them, but I was like, I'll wait till tomorrow. We got news tomorrow. So I'm gonna be trading Asia session tonight. I'm gonna do the session now, and I'll be back on at around 10:30, 11 p.m. And I'm thinking about looking at the charts from 11 to about 1:30, 2 a.m. Right? And we have GBP news at 2 a.m. So if we get an entry before that, we can let volume come in at 2 in the morning, and then that's when TP will be hit. That'll be perfect. I would love to see that. We'll look at the charts now and we'll anticipate what we could be expecting, right? So at this point, if that's the move that I'm looking for, right? If that's the move that I want to see in the market, what type of structure do I need to see for that to happen? And then vice versa. What are the other moves that the market could do that's going to tell me otherwise? And then we have the USD news at 2 p.m. So if we don't get no volume during Asia, we know that the market is just going to wait for either the 9:30 a.m. open, or they're going to wait for that the 2 p.m. news to come in. So I'll be trading Asia session tonight for those who want to join. I'll be live on Kick. You should add NAS 100. It does move clean. Like S&P and NAS 100, they do move clean. I could add it, but missed the trade at 7 p.m. on Nasdaq. It's all good. It happens. Caught a good one yesterday though. Saw that you posted that. So, any questions, guys? Let me know. Any specific pairs you guys want me to go over? Let me know. If not, we'll be going over the ones you see on the right-hand side with the red flag next to their name. We'll start off with AU, finish off with silver. We'll go in order from the top to the bottom. What's good, Mr. Albert? Good evening, my brother. So, AU did exactly what we talked about. Right, for the ones who wanted to look for the continuations to go long, we talked about why this area was very important. We were either going to get price to give us the inducement to go high, or we were going to get the break to do what? Continue. For price to then reach these lows, right, give us this higher low. And again, price is going to do the same thing. Either give us the inducement, which it did. It gave us the inducement. It gave us exhaustion candles. On the lower time frame, we go down to the 1 minute or the 5 minute. You have the change of character and the continuation back to the top side. Price gave you exactly what you wanted to see. In my case, once again, I'm looking for my short positions, my continuations. I'm looking for price to start giving me the confirmation that price is going to continue the downtrend. Also, last night, I was talking about how these highs, I don't really want to mark this as a higher high, higher low, higher high, lower low change of character. So I'm still on the 30-minute time frame. I'm going to be a little bit passive with this pair. And I'm still going to mark this as the higher low point, and that's the higher high. And right now, price is just in this zone. We're trading between this low and this high. So I'm going to wait this one out for a little bit. I would like to see price continue this push back to the top. Again, we have a lot of confirmations up here. Daily time frame bouncing off the 50 EMA. We have the 800 EMA, the 4-hour engulfing candle going short, the bearish engulfing candle. So there's a lot of confirmations here that's letting me know that price is most likely going to continue these uptrend pushes. So we'll wait it out. For EA, I gotta go back to the daily time frame because I don't really remember where we're at for EA. What am I looking at? And so EA, we're still on a daily uptrend where we were saying the market makers pattern. I don't want to mark this as level 2 drop, right? But if we take it at face value, which we're just trading a higher low and we're looking for higher highs, then I'll be looking for price to continue the pushes to the top side. You have no continuations on the 4 hour. On the 4 hour, we're still trading lower low, lower high, lower low. So again, similar to what we see on GU, I believe it was, right? We're still on the 30-minute for GU, right? Like, yeah, we could be in an uptrend, but right now we're still trading between this lower low, lower high, lower low point on the 4 hour time frame. So these pushes to the top side, this could be a lower high, and this is where price is going to continue to go lower. So if this is a lower high, we want to see the change, the break. Price came down, gave us the inducement of the low push number 3, and we're still in the zone of consolidation. So yes, we are still trading lower low, lower high, lower low on the 30-minute, but if this lower low point is just a higher time frame, higher low point, then we're going to continue to see price push to the top side. So we'll see. I'm going to mark up these highs. Want to see a valid break above here. And then obviously the 30-minute lows. I like the EMAs too on the higher time frames and on the 30. On the 4 hour and the 30, we're still EMAs are still uptrending. We're still bouncing off the 50 EMA. Again, if we're in a higher low point up to an uptrend, we want to see price bounce off the 50, right? That's exactly what we're doing. And the 4 hour even has a engulfing candle here, or the daily time frame. So we're in a point of interest where we want to start looking for these short positions. So then now you go into a lower time frame and you're just looking for price to give you the confirmations. Even if we go down to, let me say something. We get very mixy with EA right now. I mean, if we could get price to break, specifically, I'm going to move this line. If we get price to break these highs on the 5-minute time frame, we can start looking for price. We can start looking for those entries back to the top side. Yeah, now to look at the 5-minute. I wouldn't go down to the 1 minute on EA. Not in the Asia session. It's moving too fast. Too many fake outs. 5-minute time frame. Keep an eye on the 5-minute time frame on EA for these highs. Would love to see that. Maybe like a little TFR for the day. That would be like picture perfect trade. Would love to see EA do something like this today. A little TFR movement for the day. Trap to the top side, right? The trap to the top side will give us the higher high. It'll give us that BOS. The falls move to the bottom to fake the traders out, thinking that price is going to go lower. Why? Because we have clean traffic all the way to the bottom. So all the traders, oh, got to cover the imbalance, fill the imbalance. Give you the false move and then the real move for that entry to continue back up. Right now, I'd be looking for price to reach. That was a horrible line. I don't know why I did that or how I did that. I think that first one was better than this. Whatever. And I'll be looking for price to reach the 30-minute highs at least. So before STP gets hit too, STP for the day is 78 minus 33%. It's 52 pips. So to give an example, let's just say that STP, just from the lows of the day, 52 pips is above the 30-minute highs. So instead of putting my TP at the 52 pips, I'll be putting my TP at the 30-minute high. So I'll be looking for an entry like this for today. If you want to babysit the trade, and catch a few more pips for the day, a little 1 to 7. So I'll be looking for something like this for the day. Imbalance in your bank account. All right. I knew you were gonna say that. You read him like a fucking book. This guy's just so predictable. He think he's funny too, which is crazy. EA gave us a nice continuation back to the top side as well. The NYC session. I think STP was already hit too for the day. It gave us a nice higher high, gave us a valid break, gave us a pullback to continue back to the top side. Right, we talked about these lows, these shoulder at shoulders, gave us the inducement, gave us a continuation, higher high, gave us another higher low, right off the 50 EMA to continue back up. Would have been a good pair to keep an eye on. Just a little trade for the day, nothing too crazy. And there's always trades you could take throughout the day. GA, we had 3 days of drop. After 3 days of drop, the market must move sideways or go up. We came up. Not trading GA, so I'm gonna just skip over that one. Again, what I'm looking for on the 30-minute time frame, guys, for the most part, right, outside of just market structure, just simple higher highs and higher lows and valid breaks, and whether or not, we're in an uptrend or a downtrend. Are we trading currently with the trend? Are we counter trend? I'm also just looking at continuations. So for example, GJ, we have 2 days of rise. Looking for a 372. Right now, this 372, we're going to go back to the daily. We're going to start confirming where are we. Right, because the 372 is a continuation. For GJ, we're currently still on an uptrend. Price gave us higher high, higher low, higher high, gave us a higher low with a lot of exhaustion candles, gave us a zone of consolidation on the lower time frame, gave us a break, gave us a retest. So we're still on an uptrend. We had 2 months of rise, right? But last month it wasn't higher than the first month, so it's still a little off. But price is still making higher highs and higher lows. We see that on the 4-hour time frame. Going into the 4-hour structure, again, we had a little sideways choppy movement. We had the break, we had the retest, and now we can see the continuation. Now, the only thing currently, where are we on the 4-hour time frame? We're back at the previous highs. And at the previous highs, we could already see that once price reached these previous highs, what did it do? Gave us an exhaustion candle. So again, for me to feel comfortable, already off the bat, I'm also going to say this. We have a 4-hour engulfing candle here that price still hasn't tapped into. Because price never gave us this break, and we're still just giving exhaustion candles, could price come back down? Absolutely. And then could it continue? Yes. Could it go lower than this? Of course. But this is our first line of defense. Why? Because again, we're just looking at structure. Higher high, higher low, higher high. Technically, this is a higher high. Look at the body. So if price gives us this type of pullback, this is where I'll be looking as a point of interest to start looking for my trade. This is again, this is on the 4-hour time frame, guys. I'm not looking for entries on the 4-hour time frame. This is just a point of interest. So since this is the move that I'm expecting, now on the 30-minute time frame, this 372, I already know that this is a low probability trade to take. A little low probability trade to take. This could be the inducement to make people believe that, again, we're going to continue the uptrend pushes and then we're really going to go down. But again, the question is, okay, how do you avoid getting into those trades? It's very simple. You go down to the lower time frame. You look at the structure on the lower time frame. What is price doing? Right? We could go down into the 1 minute on GJ. GJ moves clean, and we'll do it with the lines here so you guys could understand what it is that I'm looking at. When you visually see this, right? You have higher high, you have higher low. Then what did price do? It gave you higher high. Did price ever break these highs? No. Did price ever break these lows? Yes. It gave you a change of character. After a change of character, what are you looking for? You're looking for a valid break. Why? Once you got a valid break after the change of character, that confirms that the trend has shifted. A change of character is still just an inducement in the market. So at this point, if this is just an inducement and we want to start seeing price, excuse me. My bad. After the inducement, we want to start seeing price giving us higher highs and higher lows. And right now, what is price doing? Sideways movement, inducing the highs, right? The lows came back down, back to the highs. So at this point, we already know. Price gives us a break. We could look for a trade for that 372 back to the highs. If we induce the highs, it's going to go back down to the bottom and we'll be looking for the same thing. At these lows, we know that this is where we'll place our TP. If we take a trade at the top of the zone of consolidation, right? If you take a trade at the top of the zone of consolidation, you're looking to have your TP set at the lows. So once price comes back to the bottom of the zone of consolidation, what are you looking for? You're looking for a valid break. And we already know that valid break now is going to be once price breaks below this candle. And we already know if it breaks below this candle, we have all of this clean traffic back to these lows. We also have the 800 EMA. Price respects the 800 EMA. But if we get price to give us a break, again, same thing. Yo, we've been talking about this all week. On how many trades, how many pairs did we talk about? The same exact structure. It's the same thing over and over. It's a repeated process. It's very simple. Connect internal time frame, like just analysis, right? When you plug that into your higher time frame analysis, it's just there. It's so simple. That'll be our confirmations, right? So then not only did you take those trades, right? You were able to catch those trades going short from the higher high going into the higher low, but then you also got in once price gave you the retest, right? The confirmation on the higher time frame that you're at the higher low. Now you start looking for those buy positions again from the higher time frames. So GJ, we'll keep an eye on it. Again, we have GBP news tonight at 2 in the morning, so we'll see what price ends up doing here in the next couple hours. Again, once I finish this session, should be done already in the next 10 minutes. I'm gonna turn the stream off and then I'll be back online at like 11 or so. 11 p.m. and then we'll go on from there. We'll look for some trades during the Asia session. We'll talk about it. Right, US 30. This is a good pair to talk about too. We talked about it yesterday. And somebody asked on stream, like, yo, I think we're gonna go down to 9 to 50s. We definitely are. Yeah, we definitely are. We got gaps at the bottom. Right? The question is again just when? That's the question. And the only way you can answer that is just, yo, continue to look at market structure. None of us could really, again, it's not a guess, it's not a guessing game. Right? I'm not over here taking trades based on what I guess is gonna happen. Again, notice how every time I have a point of interest, I don't say we're getting in right away as soon as price gives us a retest. No. We have a 4-hour point of interest. Once price gets into that 4-hour point of interest, price needs to move in a certain way in order for me to start looking to take trades. And what am I looking for? I'm looking for higher highs and higher lows, or vice versa, lower lows and lower highs. I'm looking at market structure. If price is moving sideways, right? If price is at my point of interest and it's just moving sideways, it hasn't given me a break of structure, it hasn't given me an inducement, nothing. Am I going to take a trade? No. If price is at my point of interest where I want to start looking for buys and price continues to make lower lows and lower highs on the lower time frame, am I going to take a trade? Because, oh, I think this is where price is going to go up and it's just moving down and I'm going to catch the wick here and I'm going to pray that it's going to go up. No. In order for me to take a buy position when price is at my point of interest, I need to see the change of character. I need to see the break of structure, and then I'm going to get in. Vice versa for the shorts. I'm not getting in a point of interest when I'm looking for shorts. If price is still making higher highs and higher lows, I'm gonna wait until price gives me the change of character and the break back down to the bottom. So again, we could sit here and talk like, yeah, price I think is gonna go down to 50. Yeah, I think too. I think so too. Again, there is reasonings as to why, but the question is just when. Right? So 4-hour time frame, we're still on an uptrend. Gave us another change of character back to the top side. Remember, because it gave us a change of character to the bottom. So we'll mark this up. 4-hour change. Trading between these lows and these highs. And on the daily time frame, again, I'm not going to mark this as higher high, higher low, higher high on the daily time frame. All of this is just part of the same structure, the same move. Right? This is where price just continues. It's just a continuation. We still have higher high, higher low, higher high. Not really a valid pullback on the daily time frame. So the lower time frame we could be a little bit more aggressive. Right? We could get structure on the lower time frame. Right, so now we know, okay, on the daily and 4-hour time frame, right now we're at a higher high. On the 30-minute time frame, where are we? We're at a higher high. Okay, cool. Looking at how price is moving, this looks like what? It looks like a flag post pattern. But again, flag post pattern, yeah, it's a valid entry criteria. But do I want to look for a buy position at a higher high point? Or do I want to start looking for short positions at a higher high? Because after a higher high is made, what are you expecting? You're expecting a higher low. You're expecting price to go down. So right now for US 30, in this area, again, this is where I will continue to do the same thing I did yesterday, which was what? Price at the higher high is going to give you something, whether it's a double top, a double bottom, a shoulder head shoulder, a flag post pattern. It's going to give you something. A type 1 pattern, type 2 pattern, a TFR, sideways movement. Price is going to print something. This is why you have to be patient. That's why I love trading US 30. because we already know US 30 is going to move at 9 or at 10 a.m. or at 11. We know it's going to move during the NYC session. And all right, the 10% of the time that it moves during Asia and London, cool, whatever. But 99% of the time, US 30 is moving during the NYC session. So, for example, yesterday, what did we say about US 30? Oh, it looks like it's printing what? A shoulder head shoulder. So we already know we had our confirmation. If this is the higher high point, and we're going to be looking for price to go down and give us a higher low somewhere in this area, what do we want to see before that? We want to see price do what? Give us a break and a retest to then continue. What did price do? It moved sideways for a little bit and then continued to push to the top side. Right? Break, retest, NYC session. You got your entry anywhere between from 5:30 all the way till 7:30 in the morning. Surfing the waves. 50 EMA, level 3. Straight to TP. That's why I like trading US 30 a lot. Right? Then we look at S&P. And today was just nothing really, just choppy. Again, we're at a higher high. Same exact, like same thing as US 30. Same structure, everything. We say the same thing. Only difference is where we're trading. 30-minute time frame. What did price do? Just moving sideways. And this is good that happened because again, this is just a variation of things that could happen at the higher highs. And that's why 90% of the time, I'm okay with missing these trades. Because again, at a higher high, you're going to get faked out. If price wants to just move sideways, it's going to move sideways. But it's again, you're not going to get faked out. Because you understand where you're trading, where you're at. If you wake up and you see that price is just moving sideways, what are you going to trade? There's nothing to trade. Price is just moving sideways. And then, again, 10 in the morning, 11 a.m., what did it start doing? Right back to the lows. Back to the highs. In a span of an hour and a half. Trapping traders. Gave you an inducement of the low, came back to the highs. Gave you an inducement of the high, came back to the lows. Now it gave you a valid break. Just being patient is really all that it is. And we'll look at NASA as well. I'll go over that one. Gold, we still got that gap. Again, very similar to what we were just talking about with S&P. Gave us a 4th-day push, but didn't give us a 4th-day high. Technically, never broke yesterday's high. We still got that gap at the bottom. We still have the 800 EMA too. So like same thing I said yesterday. I'm really expecting price to continue a little bit higher. I would like to see price, and I'll even mark it up with a trend line. Like realistically speaking, I don't want to put a solid line. Like we're pretty much in this zone of consolidation, and I'm gonna mark it like kind of with the bodies, so it's not gonna be drawn perfectly, but this is a zone of consolidation. What I would like to see, realistically speaking, for today would be a type 1 pattern where price moves sideways, give us an inducement of the high, push 1, push 2, push 3. This is what I would like to see for gold to continue to go short into this gap. But keep that drawn there, man. Maybe I'm the market maker. Bitcoin, we had 3 days of rise. After 3 days of rise, the market must move sideways or go down. We went down. For oil, we don't have a valid break just yet. I need to see price give me a break of this wick over here. If it doesn't give us that break, Then again, this is just an inducement, and this is where we'll go down to the lower time frames. Oil, we could go down to the 1 minute. It's a really good pair. And this is where we would want to start seeing price give us lower low, lower high, lower low. This is where price gave us a change of character to the top side. Right? If we want to get aggressive with it, we could say this is higher high, higher low, higher high. And then price gave us an inducement here, change of character. Right, with this wick. Right, if we want to get more aggressive with it and just mark this up as higher high, nah, I wouldn't do that. I mean, change, break. Then price gave you a change back to the top side. We're trading between this high and this low. I mean, it wouldn't be bad, but we're so close to the 800 still. So like, I would be a little bit more comfortable marking up these lows as, you know, like, yeah, this would be a valid break on the 1 minute down here. But I would also mark up just these highs here. This would be higher high, higher low, higher high. Then this is where price gave you the lower low change of character. So if we got a valid break after the change, that would make sense, right? And then we'll have the EMAs talking. Right now, we're just inducing traders. Price, currently, what are we doing? Just moving sideways. Market makers just inducing traders. I'm not really too fond of this movement here. So oil will be patient. Again, we never got these valid breaks down here, so I'm really not expecting price to continue these downtrend pushes. So at this point, again, something else that could happen. You know, let's say that for some, already looking at how price is moving, since we're already moving sideways, I don't think a type 1 pattern would be what the market would give us because it already gave us the inducement, right? So like, I'm really not expecting the market to do something like this for today. Now, could they give us that type of movement? Yes. But I'll also say this. Could price give us a valid break of these lows? Right? Would this push to the bottom to give us a lower low to then push up into a lower high? That could happen as well. So we'll wait it out. We'll see what price does in a little bit. That could be it though. And that would be the change of character on the 30-minute because we're still technically trading from this higher high, higher low point. And then price here was just moving sideways and we're looking for a valid break of these lows. We started trending below the 800, 50s below the 200. Right, this looks clean. We're at the top of the zone of consolidation. We're looking for price to continue back down. Only thing on the daily is we're bouncing off the 800 EMA. We haven't reached it yet, actually. We're close to it, so. And we know that the 800 EMA on the higher time frame is a little bit of a magnet, so. Going a little bit lower at this point, again, to continue to look for these short positions, it does look like we will be able to do that, so. We'll see what oil does. Then last but not least, silver. Price is just moving sideways. Gave us that 4th-day push variation and just continued sideways the entire time. Back on the 800 again. What is price doing? Just moving sideways. So we'll wait it out. I'll be looking for a valid break of the lows, which would be these lows down here, which we could already see. Price gave us the inducement, came back down, continued to give us higher low points. So I'm really not expecting price to go down for silver. But again, we'll wait it out. We're in a zone of consolidation. There's not much we could do but wait. So we already know if we don't get these breaks by the time the end of Asia goes into London, we'll most likely not get a move. Right? Especially with the GBP news at 2 in the morning. Like, if we don't get that move at 2 a.m., we're definitely going to get it during the NYC session. And we'll get our confirmation for sure. So tomorrow should be a pretty simple trading day. Should be a fun trading day. And then the rest of the week too, Thursday and Friday should be very easy trading days. Especially when we get these valid breaks and these pushes, like we'll just trade the continuations. Price has to continue. If it's at a higher low and it gives you a higher low, worse price going, the higher high. Right? You have a simple 2, 3, almost 4 days of trading that you have, catching the continuations back to back. So that's pretty much it, guys. Any questions, let me know. If not, we'll be done for now. We'll be back again. I'll turn the stream on at like 10:30, 11 p.m. All right, no questions. Peace out. See you guys later.